Hi, this is Paul Palmer. Today I'm going to talk to you about quality assurance. Now, I'm not actually meaning the quality assurance department. So this is something that I find is often misunderstood. So quality assurance, the team, is just a department that you put in your company. You define their responsibilities, their roles. And in the pharmaceutical industry, often it's deferred to quality. The activities that you would say are quality assurance are given to those people. But when you think about it, a lot of the activities that they actually do, a lot of the things that actually are part of quality assurance, so ensuring that the customer gets the right product, ensuring that you get the right service, making sure that you have the right specification, improving the processes and the systems that you've got in place, all the different aspects of quality assurance and that go towards making sure that you've satisfied the requirements of the customer, as in provide them the correct medicinal product at the right time, of the right quality, and it actually works, is what really comes under the banner of quality assurance. Now, that doesn't mean that the quality assurance team is going to be out there delivering your product, does it? So, quality assurance is about putting the plans in place. It's about making sure you're ready to do what you need to do to get the product to the customer on time, in full, the right quality, with the correct documentation, that it's going to work when they've got it. So quality, safety, and efficacy. So making sure it's safe is normally the remit of quality, yes. But the right quality, the right efficacy, well, that's often going to be part of the role of the manufacturing team. So dispensing is going to make sure that you've got the right amount of API in there, aren't they? I'm not going to do it as the QP. I'm going to check that it's in there, but I'm not going to do it. So quality assurance is about setting up the systems and the processes, making sure that you've done your validation, make sure you've got the calibration, make sure that when you actually start, you do a line clearance. And when you do the line clearance and you document it, well, that's all part of quality assurance. So it's actually really important that teams, that people understand quality assurance in the company just as much as they understand what the quality assurance department does. If I'm going to be raising a deviation and I'm going to investigate the root cause and I'm going to identify the corrective actions, well, if I'm part of the quality team, the quality assurance team, and the problem's happened in manufacturing, say it's happened in dispensing, am I really the right person to investigate what's gone wrong? But more importantly, to do the root cause analysis and identify the actions that need to be taken to prevent it happening again in the future. And then implement those actions and make sure that the training happens, make sure any documentations that are relevant get updated, and make sure they end up in the system. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the operations team, the person in manufacturing or dispensing, is going to be adding the documents to the quality management system. But what it does mean is that they should be inherently involved. Is that the right word? I'm not so sure it is. They should be a key player. Maybe they need to be a subject matter expert in the investigation. It doesn't mean that the quality assurance team can't lead the root cause analysis, because they're the ones that have had the training and the systems and tools. But what it does mean is they need to bring in the other people. They need to have referrals from the other people within the company. Anybody in the company should be able to raise a deviation, for example, and that deviation can be understood and distributed and maybe investigated by them. And maybe it gets logged with quality assurance, or maybe it gets logged on the electronic system that you've got in place. Either way, it's important to understand that we all have a role in quality. Everybody throughout the whole organization is involved in assuring, that's not ensuring, that's assuring, that's doing everything beforehand to make sure that you're buying the materials from a reputable supplier to the right standard. That when you receive them, you check that they've come at the right standard and from the right place, that they've got the C of A or C of C with them. That when you put it into stock, it gets stored correctly and labeled correctly. And then when it's pulled out for dispensing, it's picked, the right material is picked. And you're following through with all your documentation. So you've actually written down that the right amount was picked from the right location. And then you adjust your stock levels down. And then you take that material along with all the other components that needed to do the manufacturing process, and they go to manufacturing. The manufacturing set up their systems, their processes, their equipment. They get out the master batch record and they follow it, using the process that's already previously been validated, maybe by them, maybe by a separate team. And the validated process is a means of assuring, that's that same word again, assuring that the correct material, the correct product of the right quality, safety, and efficacy comes out at the other end of the process. And then that goes into some sort of storage, maybe back into the warehouse, or maybe a different storage location for bulk product. And that's stored at the correct temperature with the correct humidity and any other relevant conditions that could have a negative impact on that bulk. And this all should be written down in the procedures or work instructions, maybe some policy information. That's all part of the assurance of the correct quality of the product. So everybody should understand their role in quality assurance. So now we've manufactured the product, we've put it into our primary packaging. So the primary packaging is filled, and we're then going to take samples for wafer testing. Now this is quality control, testing to make sure it's been done right. Making sure that all the assurance processes that we've got in place and the systems and the controls to make sure we do the job consistently every single time, that it's actually worked. And then when it has worked and it's passed, somebody has to review all the documentation. Now that's another control check. You're checking it's been done right. And then it gets signed off, probably by a qualified person if you're in the EU, or even GB now, because we've left. So if you've got it signed off by the QP, or you've got it signed off by a head of quality control, or whoever it is that's relevant in your organization, then it's going to be released for sale. So that release for sale is likely to be done by somebody in the quality team. Yeah, it could be quality control, quality assurance. But then what? Well, then it's down to the salespeople to sell it, isn't it? Now they want to make sure that they sell the right product to the right person at the right price. Well, selling the right thing is assurance. Making sure it gets picked correctly is the pick and pack team, the dispatch team, goods out, whatever the name you give them. But they're ensuring that the correct product is picked, that the right amount's picked, that the documentation's filled in correctly, that it's prepared for shipment. That's all part of quality assurance, because that shipment is going to be done in the correct conditions that have already been predetermined to be appropriate for that product. So now we're at the end of GMP. We're moving on to good distribution practice. But unfortunately, that's it for today, because we've run out of time. That's Paul Palmer talking to you about quality assurance. Remember, it's not just the name of a department. It's a philosophy, an approach to ensure the right product gets to the right person at the right time of the right quality, safety, and efficacy. That's Paul Palmer. Talk to you soon.